Reports claim Apple's Asian suppliers have already started mass production for the soon-to-be-introduced mini iPad. September PMIs for the services sector across Europe were weak, but Spain remains the major concern. I'm Lindsey Bell, and the Morning Call starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com.
And I'm Lindsey Bell with TheStreet, and together we bring you the Morning Call Express. This morning we got some weak PMI numbers out of China, out of Europe, and this is exactly why the central banks are doing what they're doing, Scott.
It's the same exact thesis, slowing growth around the world, and is central planning or are they doing enough to stimulate the economies, which is just going to take time. So that's why people are a little bit concerned about the market, that they don't want to chase it up here, but they also don't want to be left behind.
So what levels should we watch today? It's been a choppy market.
Well, I like to connect the dots. So if we take a quick look at the chart of the S&P on the long term, I want to show you what I'm a little concerned about. Not concerned, but I just, as a short-term trader, I go over it. Since about a year ago, when we put the low in at 1100, we've had a very methodical move to the upside. Big move with a lot of price patterns along the way, which I've gone over. If you recall last year, after this big move off the lows, it was October, November, we were wedging, trying to figure out which way we would go, and we happened to go down first. We went down first to bounce back to then create a bigger wedge for what became a great move through the first quarter. So if you take a look right here where we are, I see something similar. So all I'm trying to figure out is, do we hold this area? Do we hold 1430-ish? Or do we break and test the 50-day, which is at 1415, for then what could be a bigger type of wedge pattern and then move? So for me, I'm trying to be cute as an intermediate trend trader, but I think on a macro front, everything stock-wise looks pretty good.
Let's take a look at some stocks. Let's start with Apple. These guys, there's news out that their suppliers are starting to make the mini iPad already. They're supposed to announce that this month at some point. Could this get Apple stock going again?
Well, technically it started breaking down. About a week ago we talked about if it loses the 21-day around 683, you could see the 50-day, and then yesterday it saw that 50-day and it became a very nice tactical long. If you look at the chart here, you will see that ever since it broke the 21-day, it's been a two-way trade for most guys, and finally touched the 50-day and bounced off. So now the question is, can it get out of the danger zone and hang out here and then at some point reclaim the 21-day? At this point, the bears are saying you have a head and shoulders top forming. The bulls are saying it's been a tremendous run. All we're getting is a little bit of a pullback for a macro buy for what could be new highs this year. At this point, I am long some from yesterday, and I'd like to see it get out of the danger zone and reclaim that 21-day and show some commitment.
In the long form version, we have Nicole Erkin joining us, and she's going to talk about some different stocks that we don't always look at, some of which are going to be the consumer discretionary stocks. Let's look at the ETF for that, the XLY.
Well, you always want to see what's holding up best during a correction, and I'm looking at this ETF, and I don't see anything so great here. More of like a buy the dip type of scenario. You'll take a look at the ETF, you will see it's acting and pretty much in line. It also broke this upper level the same way the spiders broke 1449. It's now hovering on this support line, the support right here, 46.49. If it breaks this, it could see the 50-day. So I do think this is acting in line. It's not really showing relative strength, but it's something to look at if you like stocks in that arena.
We're going to talk about all this a lot more. We're going to talk about China too, because there is concern that we could see a bigger slowdown, but there are some names that could rebound if more easing comes into the picture. So we'll talk about that with Nicole and a lot more in the long form version. Stay tuned for that.
Hi, I'm Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer for T3 Live, and I would like to invite you to join us on October 6th and 7th in New York City for our first annual T3 Live Active Trader Super Conference. The two-day event will focus on what we believe to be the 5 keys to being a successful trader. We will teach you the strategies, tactics, and mindset we take to the market every single day, and you will leave the Super Conference with a personal step-by-step success blueprint. Visit T3Live.com and click on the education tab on the top of the page and watch preview videos of this event. Seats will fill up quickly, so be sure to reserve yours today. My colleagues and I look forward to meeting you. Have a great day.